stream in right quick. I feel like this the perfect time to operate, in the wee hours because, you got Trail Talk coming up then, Fanon, Blue Blood, Beyond. So this is the best time to um get my live stream on. Oh yeah, and thank everybody for the super chats and the Cash App and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for supporting the channel. So, finally I can talk some boxing because it looked like well, I'm gonna be talking a lot of sports anyway because Major League Baseball is about to start up. People ask me to keep track of Major League Baseball, and I'm gonna cover Major League Baseball. NFL, maybe occasionally, maybe if there's something to cover, because I still haven't forgot what they did. What's up? Still haven't forgot what they did to Cap, but Cap, he's faring very well. He gonna get to do a couple of TV series and stuff. I think he's gonna produce some programming. So Cap is doing all right. But I'm gonna get ready to start covering the NBA, the bubble, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of stuff coming up with the NBA bubble. But you know, um, you know, PBC about to. Oh, thanks, appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about Valdez in a minute. I'm gonna talk about that. Um, talk about that card. I didn't get to see most of it, but I saw some of the stuff. I know Dog Bay. He seemed to be coming back. Because he had a couple of bumps in the road, a couple of bad bumps in the road. But Navari, that's a tough dude. So he a tough dude. He better than what we thought he was. So you know, yeah. So apparently, um, I mean, the top ranked card it was okay, but I wanted to get a look at Valdez, and he's just not that good, and that's just the bottom line. I think Miguel Burchett is gonna stop him. I think he's gonna stop him. He's taller. He has a longer reach. I just think he's gonna stop him. I mean, he just had trouble at times just fighting on the inside. I mean, his overhand rights and his lead lefts were effective at times, but he had trouble fighting on the inside. Once again, wasn't hardly using the jab. Just, wasn't impressed at all. And you would think the way he hyped himself up, and I mean, he a meaningless, undefeated fighter. So I'm just keeping it 100 because according to him, undefeated don't mean nothing. Well, he right now he the weakest undefeated fighter I've seen in a while. So I'm just keeping it 100 since he say Floyd's undefeated record wasn't shit. And I'm telling you right now, Burchett is going to more than likely beat his ass. And I'm just keeping it 100. It's funny, like, when they have these broadcasts and you have the commentators, you have Ward, you had Tim Bradley, and it was funny. Tim Bradley, he was trying his hardest to give dude credit, but I could tell Tim Bradley nor Andre Ward was impressed with Valdez. I'm just keeping it 100. I think Burchett is gonna stop him. I think Burchett is gonna beat his ass. And now I know why he don't want no parts of Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson would is gonna dog him. When I say Shakur Stevenson is gonna dog him, Shakur Stevenson is gonna dog him. I mean, Shakur Stevenson might get what's left of him. I mean, oh man, I mean, dude need to worry about, hey, for real, KP, Valdez need to worry about his own legacy and his own record instead of talking about Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather did things he'll never do. Cause I can tell you this much: ain't nobody gonna pay top dollar to see his ass. Ain't nobody gonna uh ain't nobody gonna pay $100 like they did with him and Manny Pacquiao to see his ass, his mediocre ass. It ain't no special effects to him. Ain't nothing special about him. And I'm just keeping it 100. He need to keep Floyd's name out his fucking mouth. And that's just real talk. That dude won't ever reach the heights that Floyd did. And it's kind of funny when you get these peon fighters. Yeah. It's funny when you get these peon fighters trying to shit on on a legend. I mean, for real, man. For real. Dude need to keep Floyd's name out his mouth. And I'm just keeping it 100. It ain't no way I'm gonna let some mediocre Mexican fighter try to shit on a black fighter. Please. Please. But when he fights Burchett, like I said earlier, that would be a good candidate to put on the that would be a good candidate to put on the Bud versus Porter, fight. I think that would be solid. I'm pretty sure you could find it. It's probably because ESPN have they ESPN um they have a YouTube channel, so it's probably up by now. Or you could go to toprank.com and toprank.com probably have it up. So I'm pretty sure you could see that fight. But yeah, that'll be a good candidate to put on the as a co-main event, or at least put on the undercard of Sean versus Bud if they can get that fight going. But I heard that is going pretty well. Hey, what's up? I'll talk to Kenny Porter. I talked to Kenny Porter yesterday, so I might be sneaking to Las Vegas like maybe sometime next week to handle some business. So I might meet up with Kenny Porter. I'll see can I get something out of him. Yeah, so yeah, so I'm gonna see can I talk to old Kenny, see what can I get out of him, and see will he tell me something. I'm pretty sure I'll get something out of him, you know. So we'll see. So I talked to him yesterday, so we'll see what's up. If he tell me something now, y'all will be the first to know. So hopefully they can get that fight going. I love to see that fight. I think it'll be a great fight. So, that's a far better fight than Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz, because I'm definitely about to talk about that. They better stack that card. I'm talking about they better stack that card. When I say that card is gonna be a flop, it's gonna be a flop. That fight is gonna be a flop. Leo Santa Cruz versus Tank Davis. That's gonna be a epic flop. Nobody gives a damn about that fight. Nobody gives a damn about Leo Santa Cruz. Either Santa Cruz is gonna get the hell beat out of him for 12 rounds, or he gonna get stopped. That's basically they just making him a sacrificial lamb for Tank. And then I get the Devin Alexander. I mean, excuse me. I get the Devin Haney versus Gamboa. I'll get to that like later on, but I really want to talk about Leo Santa Cruz versus Tank Davis. From what I heard, it's gonna be a string of pay-per-view fights. Yeah, Black Reality. I think that's a joke. Nobody. I don't know who the hell they think gonna pay $80 for that. That fight should be free. I mean, even if they was selling tickets, if they have a live audience, it ain't gonna sell that good neither. You ain't gonna be able to get people at that fight unless you have dirt cheap tickets. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that later too. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna definitely get to the Charlo brothers. I'm definitely gonna get to that. Like I said, um, I'm just looking at that fight because it's one of them fights. It's just so predictable. You already know what's gonna happen. Tank is gonna stop Leo Santa Cruz. He's gonna massacre him. But then again, Leo Santa Cruz Al Heyman a favor because he refused to fight Gary Russell Jr. So at the end of the day, and like I said before, y'all know I done interviewed Leo Santa Cruz several times. I mean, the dude is one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. But at the end of the day, Al Heyman then protected him, and I'm calling Al Heyman out because, like I said, I don't have no allegiance to nobody. I ain't kissing nobody's ass because Al Heyman purposely protected him from Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. was dying to get that fight, and he refused to give Gary Russell Jr. that fight among other fights. So at the end of the day, Leo Santa Cruz basically was protected by Al Heyman, from that fight. So to me, like I said, I like Leo Santa Cruz, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of going to enjoy seeing him get his ass beat. He's not going to win that fight. I'm telling y'all right now. So why should we pay whatever they going to ask for to see Leo Santa Cruz get the holy hell beat out of him? They putting him in the ring as Tank's debut pay-per-view fight to get stopped. And Tank is gonna stop him. Okay? Tank is gonna stop him. And if Tank can't stop Leo Santa Cruz, Tank ain't who we think he is. I'm telling you right now, if he cannot stop Leo Santa Cruz, then we have to look at Tank in a different kind of way. Because he barely got Gamboa up out of there. Well, they're gonna have to. Well, here's the thing. From my knowledge, PBC has at least 4 pay-per-views coming up. From my knowledge, it's gonna be 4 pay-per-views. So I guess PBC knows something that we don't know. I guess people gonna get their jobs back, or unemployment is gonna double. I don't know, because from what I heard, they gonna put on at least 4 pay-per-view fights. Not one, not two, not three. From what I heard, it's gonna be 4. And later on today, if I'm not mistaken, they are supposed to announce at least 7 to 8 cards. You might see one of them things where all them dudes is standing in one room dressed up and shit. From what I heard, they are going to announce Derbyanchenko versus Jamal Charlo. From what I heard, that's going to be pay-per-view. Then they're going to announce Rosario Charlo pay-per-view. Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia pay-per-view. Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz pay-per-view. The return of Jared Hurd. The return of Harrison Lubin. And also they may announce Adrian Broner versus Ivan Redcash. Now keep in mind, Ivan Redcash basically had to fight for free because they took his purse because of what happened with him and Danny Garcia. So there's supposed to be some announcement today. If not today, more than likely by the end of the week, or they gonna periodically announce these fights. But from what I heard, these fights are supposed to be official. Then from what I heard, Canelo has his next opponent lined up. And from what I heard, it ain't gonna be who we think it is. It ain't gonna be a barn burner neither, but it ain't who they been saying he gonna fight. Well, like I said, PBC must know something because I'm trying to figure out how they gonna throw all these pay-per-views at us. I don't think they're gonna announce Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury 3 till later, because they still trying to figure out how they gonna do that fight. because from what I heard, uh they're gonna try to have a live audience at that fight. This fight is supposed to take place at Reliance Stadium, um, the new Raiders Stadium, and they're gonna try to find a way to where they can at least had a fight where they have at least um 10,000 people. If you ask me, they might as well just go back to LA and have a fight at Sophie Stadium. If you want to do that, Sophie Stadium got one of them wide scoreboards like Cowboy Stadium do. I don't know how big the scoreboard is at Reliance Stadium. And I passed by Reliance Stadium. That's a little compact football stadium. It's not one of them gigantic wide stadiums. I mean, like if you look at Sophie Stadium is huge. I mean, when I go to LA, I always fly over Sophie Stadium because it's like in Inglewood, so I always fly over it. So it's like a 10-minute drive from the airport. So you had no choice but to fly over it. So, um so that's what I've been hearing going on with Wilder Fury 3. It's more than likely going to be in Las Vegas, but I really think they should consider Los Angeles again, you know. But nevertheless, the front runner for this fight is going to be Alliance Stadium. If I make it to Las Vegas, on business, I'll creep over there because the stadium is complete now. So they completed the stadium. So I'm gonna go over there, check it out. Um, it's on the opposite side of, I think, um, where the Mandalay Bay is. It's on the opposite side of the freeway. But as far as I know, the stadium is completed. So I'm gonna go over there and look. But it hasn't been announced yet. But from what I heard, they working out the kinks and stuff. But I know that they trying to get Deontay Wilder to take some step aside money because they still want to try to make Fury versus Joshua. But if I was Wilder, I wouldn't bend, you know. But yeah, the PBC, they back in business. Now I don't know if that other fight is still gonna happen, Jamal James versus um Thomas Delome. I think they pushed it back again because Major League Baseball is about to start, well, basically tomorrow. So I heard they pushed that fight back. But like I said, they should be some announcements today. So we'll see. And then I was laughing at the fact because they saying that Oscar De La Hoya is really considering a comeback. He's been sparring, he's been running and stuff. He been hitting the bag and stuff. So he was talking about he gonna campaign at 154. Okay, and it was kind of funny that Jamel Charlo said that he wants some of that smoke. Jamel Charlo just need to worry about Rosario. He need to worry about the dudes, the younger dudes. He need to worry about Rosario, rematch with Harrison Lubin, a rematch with Tony Harrison, a showdown with Jared Hurd. He need to worry about them dudes. He need to worry about the task at hand, which is Rosario, because at the end of the day, he fuck around and fight Oscar De La Hoya and he lose. He might as well just don't ever fight again. That'll be the most humiliating loss and biggest upset in history, which I don't think Oscar De La Hoya has a chance against Charlo to begin with. Oscar De La Hoya would need at least 3 tune-up fights, and that would just get him prepared just to last like maybe 4 rounds with Charlo, because I think Charlo would beat the hell out of Oscar, and I think he would stop him, and I think Oscar would retire. But you know. But hey, whatever floats his boat. And we know a lot of things float Oscar's boat. And I mean, it's getting so bad. They talked about that. Would he ever consider fighting Canelo? So this dude talked about he may even go as far as to fight Canelo. But the funny part about it is, like I said in one of my videos, people would line up to watch that fight. You know, like I said, a lot of people like a good train wreck, and I say that fight would be a train wreck, but the way they would promote it, it would draw people's interest. You know, Marco's Nam gonna promote the shit out of that fight because you know Marco's Nam Mexican and shit, and you know Ellie he gonna do his thing and shit, you know. But I don't I just don't think that would happen. But when you think about it, a fight with Canelo could bail Golden Boy out the hole they in because you know they just lost one of their fighters in a car accident. I heard of that guy, but you know I never really seen him fight because I got to be completely honest with you. I don't pay attention. I don't support Golden Boy at all. I just don't. I never liked Oscar De La Hoya and don't think I ever will like him. And my mission is to put as less money in his pocket and show him as less support as possible due to the fact that he don't even respect black people. And it don't matter how many black people he got signed to his promotional company. Look how he pushed them to the back burner. All he care about is Canelo and Ryan Garcia. Now Canelo is established, you know, but Canelo just seemed to me that he wants to slack off. At the end of the day, he signed a gigantic contract. He signed this astronomical fight deal where he's supposed to make this amount of money. So at the end of the day, they're not gonna let him lose anytime soon. Like I said, I think when the contract is over or close to getting over, then they may let him fight the Demetrius Andrades or Charlo or people like that. And then speaking of Charlo, speaking of Derbianchenko, both of them said that they have not received any type of contract from Golden Boy Promotion whatsoever. Said they haven't received a contract. They said basically they talked. Jamal Charlo said he never received a contract, and Derbianchenko said he never received the actual contract. And we've heard this before you know, with Golden Boy. You know, Golden Boy stay capping. They just throw something out there and then they expect you to bite on it. But Oscar know what he be doing just so he can keep people off Canelo's ass and say, "Oh, well, see, Canelo trying to fight those dudes. See, Canelo trying to fight man." Let me tell you something. If you know boxing, this is just real talk. I want to tell y'all, don't listen to these idiots that'll say that Charlo is a easy fight for Canelo Alvarez. And the only people that's gonna say that is some of those naive Mexicans that think Canelo is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Let me tell you why Canelo is hesitant to fight Charlo. You know why? Because Charlo ain't gonna let off of uh, Canelo. He's going to come at him. He's going to throw bombs. He's going to throw punches, and he is willing to slug it out with Oscar. I mean, excuse me, with Canelo. And Canelo liked the finesse. He liked the box, and I think it could be real uncomfortable at times with him always having Charlo on him with relentless pressure. Let me describe to you how Charlo versus Canelo could be. Yeah, well, don't believe the hype. Um, don't believe it. Don't fall for it. They cool with you until they have no use for you. That's how they do. All I'm saying is don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. Always keep your eyes open. Treat them the same way you would treat an enemy that looked like you. So I'm just saying, don't fall for it. I'm trying to tell you, you can listen or you don't have to listen, and you can find out the hard way. Yeah, they got love for you until you not in their presence. Then they start calling you a mayate or nigger or whatever they call you. So don't fall for it. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we ain't got no allies. But nah, let me tell you how Jamal Charlo and Canelo could be. That could be that could be a black and brown version of Floyd versus Maidana. And y'all know how that fight turned out. Floyd came very close to losing that fight. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Charlo gonna make it very uncomfortable for Canelo. When I say Canelo is gonna have to fight damn near every second of each round to win that fight and to keep Charlo off of him, it's just gonna be an uncomfortable fight. I don't listen to these idiots that come in the comment section that say that Charlo is easy work. Well, if Charlo is easy work, then why won't Canelo sign the damn contract? He's had opportunity after opportunity to make a fight with Charlo because even he know it's going to be a difficult fight for him. It's going to be a very tough fight for him. He knows it. I don't pay attention to these cornballs that come in the comment section saying that Charlo is easy work for Canelo. Well, if that's the case, well, how come Canelo was struggling against Sergey Kovalov until that rig knockout happened? I mean, he had trouble getting past Sergey Kovalov jab. And if Sergey Kovalov would have been actually allowed to fight, he probably would have knocked out Canelo. And this is why I know Canelo, when he won that belt, he had no intentions on going near Arthur Beterbiev, which most of us with common sense knew that Canelo ain't stupid enough to get in the ring with Arthur Beterbiev. He was like, I'll just get this belt and then I'm going to give it up. And that's pretty much what he did. I want somebody to tell me that I'm lying. So like I said, anybody that know boxing, if you look at Charlo style versus Canelo style, yeah, Canelo gonna dig to the body. He gonna try to dig to the body to fight close quarters, but then that's gonna present the opportunity for Charlo to hit Canelo with that uppercut. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't even a discussion who hits harder. We all know that Charlo hit harder than Canelo. And if he land the right punch on Canelo, Canelo could be in serious trouble. Like I said before, if it was such an easy damn fight, why ain't Canelo went and tried to make that fight? Yeah, I think Bob might have been a little pissed at him, but I told y'all when I went to that fight that I told y'all that Arthur Beterbiev was gonna stop Buslik. I told y'all he was gonna stop him. I told you he was gonna break him down and he was gonna stop. And like I said, he beat Buslik's ass so bad he made him retire. He made him retire, which I think that was kind of weak. After one loss, you basically say, "Okay, I give up. I ain't fighting no more." So I think that was like real chicken shit. I think that was cowardly to retire after one fight. After one loss, and you say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna retire." That was hella weak, and he shouldn't be respected. But they did say Arthur Beterbiev gave him a concussion. Yeah, Nola Soul. That was weak. Now keep in mind. Remember what they were saying? Yeah, remember what they were saying when they was insinuating, they was calling Andre Ward a coward if he retire and he don't fight Sergey Kovalov again. But here go Eastern European fighter that's supposed to be so much better than all the black fighters, according to Paulie Malignaggi, who basically after one loss he just say, well, you know what, I ain't gonna fight no more. But this was the same dude, along with Lomachenko, that was celebrating, another man being carried out in a stretcher, being put in a coma, who almost died. But they was celebrating in the locker room, cutting his face off off the belt. That was real weak. And then of course you had the Lomachenko, or should I say, you had the white Eastern European apologist. Oh no, no, oh Town, you got it all wrong. Oh no, I don't think they knew he was hurt. I don't think that. But then I showed a video where basically it's a TV screen in the locker room and they could see what's going on inside the ring, and they was cold busted. And then of course they tried to vilify me. Oh no, no, you just taking something and running with it. You're just starting trouble. How am I starting trouble? Wasn't they starting trouble by sitting up there celebrating a man being taken out in the stretcher and then being put in a coma, and then they celebrating it and then cutting his face off the belt? Hella disrespectful. I mean, for real, let Floyd have did that. All hell would have broke loose. All hell would have broke loose if Adrian Broner had did something like that. They would have said he was the worst thing they would have said, oh, that was classless. Because when we do something, it's classless. But that wasn't classless what Lomachenko did. So, I mean, it's even kill with me. So I was like, man, I hope somebody like curb stomp Lomachenko. I was thinking to myself, man, I hope Teofimo Lopez, I hope he like beat the brakes off. I hope he beat the brakes off Lomachenko, even though I really don't care. Well, I ain't gonna say this. I ain't gonna say I don't dislike Teofimo father's I just say I didn't appreciate those comments he was making in between the rounds when he fought, because at the end of the day, I know Teofimo grew up in New York, and for some reason, I don't know why them black dudes out there like be letting everybody and their mama, even including white boys, use the N-word around them. I just will never understand that. You know, I don't understand that. So I didn't appreciate him doing that. But Teofimo's daddy, he okay. I didn't talk to him a couple of times. I done interviewed him a couple of times, but I wasn't feeling that. I don't think he's in the same category as Angel Garcia. That's a different story. I don't care for Angel Garcia at all. I mean, he talked all that shit about Crawford, but yet he won't let his son get in the ring with him. So, but I mean, it is what it is. Y'all know how this works. So, now let me talk about this right quick, and I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. Yeah. Okay, so now they're saying that Devin Haney is in negotiation to fight Gamboa. Gamboa is getting up there in age. How old is Gamboa now? He pushing 40 now or something? I mean, he already been stopped by a Tank. So I'm trying to figure out, what does that do for Devin? Okay, he 40. Okay, enough said. That's what I'm saying. So what does that do for Devin Haney? Okay, you stopped him, but Gamboa already been stopped before. I mean, as far as that's being a name on your resume, like I said, I'll put it to you this way with Gamboa. He was okay in his heyday. He was okay in his heyday, but let's not make it look like he was what you call ever in discussion for being a pound per pound fighter. He was a solid fighter, but he was never what you would call a guy that was hit. for the pound per pound. He was a solid fighter with nice hand speed and everything, but I never thought he was that dude. I thought he was okay, but I never thought he was that dude. So at the end of the day, if Devin Haney goes in there and stops him, okay, you just gonna be like, okay, Devin Haney stopped Gamboa, and you just gonna be like, okay, well, what's next? So Lamonte, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm gonna just tell you the truth about Javier Fortuna. And I mean, if you want to categorize this as ducking, you can sort of categorize this as ducking. Look, we've all seen Fortuna fight. Um, Fortuna is just unbearable. Like I said, he is just unbearable to watch fight. I'm serious. He is just unbearable. He when I say he's unbearable to watch fight at times, well, I ain't gonna say at times. Every time I've seen Javier Fortuna fight, I just want to go do something else. I will go in the kitchen, make me a drink. He ain't nobody that keep you glued to the seat, and that's the problem with him. Do I believe that Devin Haney could beat him? Absolutely. Do I believe Devin Haney would beat him? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, we all know it would be a nasty, ugly, unfan friendly fight. It'll be one of them fights where we'll just be like, thank God this fight is over. It's one of them fights where people could possibly walk out of the arena. So if you want to kind of consider that being like a duck, it kind of is, but it's a duck. It's what you would call a ugly win, like duck. Just like Ricardo Mayorga, it wasn't that because people were scared to fight him. It was just that he had an ugly style at times, and then he can just like make a fight, like you know what I'm saying, with all that crazy shit he would be doing. But then again, you land the right punch, you can just knock his ass out. But Javier Fortuna, he just unbearable to watch, and we have to admit that. Would you pay money to watch Javier Fortuna fight? Absolutely not. We all done seen this dude fight. Nobody don't want to see all that. You throw a couple of punches, you throw a couple of hooks, you may throw a lead right then. You clinging on the dude for dear life and shit. Then you tussling with the dude. You turn it into that was one of the problems that Sean Porter had for quite a few of his fights. See, Keith Thurman made him fight. Keith Thurman made Sean Porter fight, and that was one of the problems with Sean Porter. And we all can admit that about Sean Porter. Now, Sean Porter, when he wanted to, he could give us some good fights. Like he gave us a good fight versus, you know, Errol Spence. He gave us a good fight versus Keith Thurman. He gave us a good fight versus Danny Garcia. But then he had some fights where you was just like, oh my God. So, that's why Devin Haney elected to go another direction. At least with Gamboa, Gamboa is gonna be there to Gamboa is gonna be there to let off punches and get your offense off. He's gonna put Devin Haney in a position to display his offensive skills because we all know that Gamboa ain't a dude like he gonna try to, he ain't a tugger and he don't know how to. He ain't really known for clinching and all that type of shit. Yeah, my organ was something else. Uh, yeah, he was something else, man, with that lighting cigarettes and shit in the ring. I mean, but yeah, Javier Fortuna, he make Mayorga look like he he make Mayorga look like Errol Spence. I'm, I'm, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just keeping it one. Yeah, I know who Flanagan. I take that. I take that. But this is one of them times where they trying to give Devin Haney a recognizable name because you figure by him being a champion and shit, he sort of like need what you would call like a dude with a name. Everybody go through that stage in boxing. Well, in most cases, unless you Triple G, where you basically fight Foot Locker worker after Foot Locker worker. This dude that Triple G is supposed to fight next, he supposed to be like I heard he like one of the night managers at 7-Eleven. So, you know, I mean Triple G got away with that for years, you know. So Triple G finna fight, one of the night managers at 7-Eleven. So, I mean, but he got away with it. We all know if you we all know if you look like if your skin is on the tanner side, we know you ain't gonna get away with fighting dudes that Triple G didn't fought. The thing about Luke Campbell, he one of them type of fighters. He don't do nothing special, but he can put up a good enough fight, to where he just don't, just look terrible. Cause he had his moments with Lomachenko. Y'all don't believe me, man. Y'all don't believe me, man. Y'all don't believe me, man. Lomachenko, he's starting to age. I'm telling y'all. Y'all look at his past few fights, man. Lomachenko just ain't been looking good, man. And from what I heard, he is trying to get out of that. From what I heard, he's trying to get out of that Tiafimo Lopez fight. What Lomachenko is saying, since he ain't fought since last year, since like last October, he saying he need a tune up. So they trying to get Lomachenko and Tiafimo for October, but from what I heard, Lomachenko was talking about he may need a tune up because he hasn't fought since he hasn't fought I think since what last October or something. Well, the division that Haney is at is stacked. But the question is, you guys, we talk about this all the time. Y'all already know what the problem is. Can we get these fights made? It's competition almost in I mean it's stiff competition in every division damn near. The welterweight is stacked. 135 is stacked. 130 is solid. 140 is solid. Okay. Once again, 154 is stacked. 160 could be better. 168 is up and coming. Light heavyweight is solid. But for real, the key question is, can we get these fights made? Can we put our differences aside? Can we stop worrying about the trainers and the managers and the TV networks and all that shit? Can we try as fans try to get these fights made? You got Lomo? I don't know, man. I've been looking at tape of Lomo. Lomo has some weaknesses that can be exploited, man, because like I said, he had a life and death fight with Linares. Keep in mind until the stoppage, I think it was two of the judges had it even and then one had it for Lomachenko, which means that fight was up for grabs. Man, my boy CB in the building. What's up, CB? Man, the zone is going belly up. They going belly up and they running out of money. And as I said, I predicted this. Like I told you, don't nobody want to see no boxing matches on no damn phone or a computer on no regular basis. At the end of the day, people want to see fights at the movie theater. They want to see it on the big screen and shit. I mean, even though it can be done, but for the most part, people still want to tune into their TV, and everybody don't got a smart TV yet. What's up, Torian, my boy Torian? Hold on, man. Thought I gave you a hold on. Yeah, I gave you a wrench. Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I got Arthur Beterbiev basically versus anybody for the next year. But like you said, Arthur Beterbiev to me seemed like he didn't got put on the shelf because he whooping everybody's ass. And the thing is with Arthur Beterbiev, he need to fight as often as possible. Because keep in mind, Arthur Beterbiev, 34 years old. He might be 35 by now. So he need to keep fighting. He ain't a dude that should be sitting fighting only once a year. He should be fighting at least twice a year. And I mean, it's going on. It's we towards the end of July. So you got August, you got September. So it's going on 9 months since we last saw Arthur Beterbiev. Canelo is not gonna fight Arthur Beterbiev. I promise you that. What I don't understand about the zone, right? The zone for some reason gave Triple G this astronomical amount of money, but then they did not read the fine print. Triple G's pay-per-view fights that he headlined was not very successful. I mean, he was featured in 4 pay-per-view fights, 2 he headlined, and then 2 with Canelo. The Daniel Jacobs fight didn't do what people thought it would do, and then the David Lemieux fight didn't do real big numbers. And then we don't know what he did against Canelo. Nah, I ain't giving Bibble a pass. Bibble should Bibble fake. He another one that HBO was like building up. I wasn't impressed with Bibble, and he ran straight to the zone because he knew if he fought on the PBC card, he could be if he fought for PBC, he could possibly be exposed. Now Bibble talking about, oh, I'll go down to 168 for Canelo. Nah, man, you made Canelo come up to 175. Or how about this? How about if you win a campaign at 168, you give up that belt, and then you let Arthur Beterbiev fight somebody for it, and then he'll be one belt away from undisputed. Because I think Arthur Beterbiev if is the WBC and the IBF. I think Bibble was what the WBA. No, Canelo was the WBA. What Bibble was what the WBO. Eddie Hearn ain't trying. Eddie Hearn ain't trying to put Bibble in the ring with Arthur Beterbiev. He not trying to make that fight. Like I said, Bibble. I told people he was a fraud too. And once again, HBO and they love affair with these Eastern European fighters. And he another dude that I wasn't impressed with. Up and down. He's supposed to be. He's supposed to be last time I checked, he was supposed to be trying to fight some kind of eliminator, and then one of those dudes could possibly get Artur Beterbiev. But keep in mind, Beterbiev is in he in he's in Russia, and he's a practicing Muslim. So they do Ramadan in September, right? So even if they do Ramadan in September, he probably still wouldn't be available to fight till like October, because um which I don't like that, because when you do Ramadan, you fast for a little bit too. I forgot how Ramadan works, but I know you fast for a little bit, and I don't think that's healthy to be trying to fast and you training for a fight in like October. And like I said, Beterbiev is a Muslim, a Russian Muslim. Facts. 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 But maybe I'll contact. I'm gonna contact my people at I ain't gonna say my people. I'll contact some of them people at Top Rank and see when we could possibly get Beterbiev back in the ring. But y'all got to remember, they still got that travel ban. So I don't know if you can catch flight from Russia to the States yet, because I know they still kind of strict on traveling and shit. But yeah, Bibble, everybody would. Hey, I would love to see Bibble again. I mean, excuse me, Beterbiev. I'd love to see Beterbiev again. But like I said, they got those travel bans. So okay, let me talk about this right quick, and then I'm gonna wrap this stream up. Now, for those who don't know, if you listen to Fred's podcast, he was talking about Carissa Shields responded to, I guess, some of the, footage that Fred put up with the interview with Raquel Pretty Beast Miller, and she called her all kind of bitches and all that kind of stuff. I knew that was gonna happen, and I'm not blaming Fred for this whatsoever. Fred doing what he's supposed to do. He supposed to try to interview both of them to hear their side of what happened. Carissa told her side of why they didn't fight, and then Raquel told her side of why the fight didn't happen. And somewhere in between, y'all know the rest. There's the truth. You heard Carissa's side. You heard Raquel's side, and basically somewhere in between is the truth. And I think, and I'm not gonna say that Carissa is jealous or of of Raquel, but I think she got mad because now people is starting to pay attention to Raquel, which I've been telling people about Raquel for a minute. Keep in mind, I was one of the first people interviewing Raquel, you know, um, before people started like paying attention to her. Now everybody want to talk to her now. You know, like I said, I was one of the first people that interviewed Kayla Plant. Hey, what's up? I was one of the first dudes that like I ain't gonna say put him on. I was one of the first people that introduced the world to Gabriel Flores Jr. I was one of the first people that interviewed Joey Spencer. So, I'm not saying that I put these dudes on, but I was one of the first people that they started talking to. So, I'm always show love for the people in the Bay, but I think that's what's going on with Carissa. She feeling some kind of way. And like I said, I'm not saying that she's jealous, but she getting that feeling like, dang, like it was just at first everybody was just talking about me. But Raquel and Carissa, that's a fight. That's a sellable fight. I mean, both of them is beautiful black women. Who would want to see two beautiful, gorgeous black women going at it? And it's a sellable fight because both of them can talk trash. You got, Carissa. Carissa can get street with it. Then, you know, You got Raquel who can she can get street, but then she can talk sophisticated too. And like I said, if y'all seen Raquel when she dressed up, you gonna be like, you wouldn't even believe she was a boxer. And I'm just keeping it 100. Raquel is gorgeous, and her sister fine too. So yeah, that's the thing. Look, it's a place for women's boxing, and I'm not gonna lie. Carissa Shields, she didn't brought something to the female boxing element that Lila just couldn't do. I just didn't like Layla. I just didn't like her. I just didn't like her at all. I really thought she was somebody that was just basically, capitalizing off what her last name was. And I'm just keeping it a buck. But Carissa, she came, in this thing, two-time Olympic gold medalist. She had female swagger. You know what I'm saying? She she tries to promote herself, and I think that's what female boxing needed. You know, certain things. Whether you now she don't do what certain people do. She don't go to the extreme. But like I said, she know how to sell herself, and she know how to sell a fight. So she was what female boxing needed. And then you got Raquel. So like I said, um, that's what we should be doing as media. We need to start interviewing people besides Carissa, because the main goal is for it to grow. So we need to start requesting the interviews with Raquel and some of the other people out there, you know, for real. But a fight between Carissa Shields and Raquel Miller could be big, you know, could be big. They need to try to throw that on one of these upcoming PBC pay-per-views. Now, from my knowledge, uh Charlo versus Derby and Chanko is going to be on Showtime pay-per-view. Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz is also going to be on Showtime pay-per-view. Now, I think Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia is going to be Fox, and then I think um, Chalo versus Rosario could be Fox as well. And Adrian Broner versus Ivan Redcash is gonna be on regular. Is I think that's going to Showtime, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I might call Champ side and see if he going to any press conferences and shit. Cause Champ side let me know what's going on and shit. So yeah, but real talk, they need to consider putting that fight on one of them pay-per-views. I think it'll be big. And that's how you gonna bring the money back to boxing. That's how you gonna bring the excitement back to boxing. Real talk. You put that as a co-feature, for real, cause they got to do something. That's just real talk. Man, you gonna get me in trouble, man. I don't even want to go down that Chalo Demetrius Andrade road, because that's one of them. If if I try to be objective and say, well, it happened because it happened because of that, it's just gonna turn into, what I'm saying. I'm gonna be cool, but we gonna have that discussion though. But anyway, I'm about to check out. Thanks for listening to the live stream. I'll be back later on tonight. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.